Namaskar. Namaskar to everyone, all my wonderful uh, students of Hansraj College, and no doubt Deepshika, the lovely compare. एक बहुत ही अच्छा आपने शेर सुनाया. I was rather getting nostalgic when I was told to talk to the students of Hansraj College. I felt nostalgic for one simple reason, that I have gone through the same grind, I have gone through the same route, and it's very obvious that we all have to basically go through this route, but then there are so many wonderful memories, there are so many things to talk about. I studied partly in Rajkot, which is a small village in Gujarat, and rest I did my college years in Mumbai, and I graduated from Mumbai. If I had to sum up my life in just one sentence, and I think this is what I thought I will talk about today, because all of you are you are at the threshold of a new beginning. All of you are at a point in life that you are trying to achieve something in terms of education, and then you're going to be thrown to this very competitive, challenging world where you'll have to make a mark, you'll have to make a name for yourself, you'll have to prove yourself. So this is the foundation for you to go forward, to prove yourself, to achieve what you want to achieve. As I said, I will sum it up in one sentence, which not even a sentence, it's a phrase, which is positivity in adversity. I'm an ideal example of precisely that. I have grown up and I have traveled through my young days, which is my school days and my college days, in many adversities, and also my career as a singer, a lot of adversity. So how did I find positivity? Because if we start, as I said earlier, I come from Rajkot, which is now, it used to be a small city in Gujarat, but now it's a very big city in Gujarat. So I grew up in Rajkot, and obviously in Rajkot I spoke only one language, which was Gujarati. So it's very obvious that my knowledge of language was limited to Gujarati. My communication skills were only limited to Gujarati, and I couldn't go beyond that. But yes, I was a voracious reader. I used to read a lot of Gujarati literature as a child, mind you. And the other thing which was, I would say, positivity in this adversity was that I had this great passion for singing. I come from a family where my father, though he worked for the government of India, he was very fond of music, and he used to play an instrument called Dilruba, which is also known as Israj. So every day when he used to go to work, he would come back and he would tune his instrument and he would play for his own pleasure. He was never a professional musician. So that played a big part in my learning process, or in my appreciation of music. Which this literally ignited the flame in me with regards to music. I realized how interesting, how moving, and how touching was music. I started to sing a little during my college days school days, sorry, and I used to sing during my school assembly. And my first experience, my first exposure, as you all must know, that when I was growing up, the only source of music or listening to music was radio. There was nothing else. I mean, you couldn't listen to music anywhere else. I mean, the only way I could listen to music was a radio, and there was one radio in my house which used to play 24/7. So I used to listen to music on radio. And the other source of listening to music was going to a cinema hall and seeing a film where you would listen to some of the popular songs of that era. So it was during Indochina War. After the war, Lata ji recorded the famous song "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo," as you all know, very, I would say an iconic song, "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo." I somehow took up to that song and I started humming along with that song when it used to play on the radio, and it used to play maybe 10-15 times a day on the radio. And I would listen to it and I would I would write down the lyrics, and because it's quite a long song, so I wrote down the whole song and I started singing that song. So I first attempted to sing this song in my school assembly when I was about 10 years old or maybe 11. And it was very much appreciated because everyone loved this song, so it was very much appreciated. And subsequently, I landed up singing this song at one of the Navratri festivals in Rajkot. Someone from my school, one of the teachers from my school, saw me in the audience and dragged me on the stage and said that you have to sing this song. So I sang this song, and I myself was surprised that I got a tremendous response from the audience. And in fact, to the extent that one gentleman got so carried away that he stood up and said that this child has sung it so beautifully, so I want to give him 51 rupees as a prize. So that was the turning point in my life. That was the point of motivation. I mean, for me to tell you this whole long story, the reason is that there has to be some motivation in whatever you want to do. And I'm sure that there are millions of opportunities. You will come across millions of opportunities where they will offer you, these opportunities will offer you to move forward, get motivated and do what you want to do. Like we have seen so many examples in front of us. It could be maybe Sachin Tendulkar or anybody who got some motivation at some point in life, and then they nurtured that motivation and became something. Now, when I said positivity in adversity, because I came to Mumbai, and when I came to Mumbai, I realized that Gujarati was not the language which was used here in Mumbai. So you can very well imagine how lost I must have been. And then to top it, to sing in Urdu, because Ghazal basically is, if not Urdu, Hindi mixed, but the point is that a Ghazal is something where you are far away from Gujarati. So I had to be a fool actually to even think of pursuing Ghazal singing. So then comes the other element, which is the element of passion, the element of madness. You got to be really madly passionate to pursue something which you want to achieve. And that's when I decided that I wanted to sing ghazals. I wanted to make a name in ghazal singing. I wanted to be popular, but there was nothing that I could, kind of hold on to. There was nothing that I could. The only advantage I had was that my eldest brother, Shri Manar Udhas, by that time, had established himself as a playback singer in cinema. You must be knowing him. He has sung so many famous songs like हर किसी को नहीं मिलता यहाँ प्यार जिंदगी में और हम तुम्हें चाहते हैं ऐसे, and so many popular songs. So Manar-ji was my basic introduction to the world of music, to the world of entertainment. So I used to tag along with Manar-ji, and I used to go with him and see all. Can you imagine that a young boy of my age, 17, 18 years old, instead of going out partying or clubbing or whatever it is, I used to tag along with Manar-ji, and I would go and I would attend huge concerts like Shankar Jaikishan night or Rahul Dev Burman night or Kalyanji Anandji night, and I would go and see stalwarts performing there, Lataji, Rafi Saab. I mean, I used to see all of them perform, and I used to wonder as to when can I get onto that stage and sing. So this was nothing but passion. Someone could have called me a fool that, come on, I mean, you come from Rajkot, Hindi is not your language, Urdu is not your language, and you're thinking of going on that stage and singing. So the first thing I did was that I realized, and first thing I did was that I had to get hold of my language and my music. I had to get on top of that. So Manar-ji had one ustad who used to teach Urdu to Manar-ji. So I started learning Urdu from him. And I started learning religiously with so much of passion. I always say this in my interviews that the reason why I sing Ghazal is because I fell in love with Urdu language. So that love was very important, that passion was very important. So I started learning Urdu. And on the other side, I had my guru, Master Navrang, who taught me Indian classical music. So I made my base very firm, very strong, and without realizing or without anyone's guidance, but I realized it for myself. And this is where I say positivity, that I realized that I had to make my foundation very strong, which is the language and the music. Then only I can achieve something. So slowly I started learning the language and the music, and there came a point when I really kind of got hold of this particular genre, which is Ghazal. There was a time when I used to listen to Ghazals of various maestros like Begum Akhtar, Mehdi Hasan Sahab. I used to listen to their Ghazals for 8 hours a day. And mind you, listening is a very big guru. I mean, listening can teach you a lot. So if you had to meet me during those years, I would not talk about passion, I would not talk about clubbing, I would not talk about anything else, but I would talk about Ghazal, I would talk about Ghazal singing, I would talk about music. So you got to inculcate this kind of passion and attitude in yourself to reach where you want to reach in life. And I struggled. I started struggling from 1970-71 to cut my first album. I wanted to do an album of Ghazal. In those days there were no cassettes, in those days there were no CDs, there was nothing. Only thing which was there, only thing you could do as a singer is you had to produce a long play record. So I was hoping to do my long play record, and it took me 9.5, 10 full years to do my first album. So just imagine my patience and my passion, that I struggled for 10 full years to cut my first album. Now, if one is thinking that, okay, I've done my degree and tomorrow I'll get a package of 1 crore, or tomorrow I'll get this job or that job, I think that's not the attitude. I would say that yes, God bless you, you may get 5 crores a year. But the point is that you've got to be passionate about it, you should be prepared for it. So I worked for 10 years. During those 10 years, I really made sure that my Urdu, my grounding in music was perfect. And it was in 1980 that I did my first album, which was called Aahat. And from Aahat, I became even more focused, more concerned. And God is kind that since Aahat days, I have never looked back. I've always been doing better and better work in my life. And today, it's 42 years since I cut my first album. So, and I'm still very much there. I'm still working very hard. I'm still looking at doing different new albums. In fact, a couple of years back, I did one album with the famous, legendary Gulzar Saab. We did a collaboration, myself and Gulzar Saab, an album titled Nayab Lamhe, which became very, very popular. So, to you all, I wouldn't say that a piece of advice, but I would say that I would like to tell you all that don't let your dreams die, don't let your passion run out, don't let your dream to achieve go. Please follow it with tremendous amount of positivity, with tremendous amount of perseverance, and you will always achieve. I personally feel that dedication and commitment are the two things that you have to keep in your mind. Dedicate yourself completely, that okay, I want to be so and so, and you will certainly achieve it, if not today, tomorrow. And to achieve something, you will have to commit yourself. You cannot say that, okay, I will do 10 things together and I'll see wherever I succeed. That's not possible. I mean, you'll have to really focus on a subject that you want to achieve, on something which you want to achieve. And I'm sure you will succeed. So, take my story as an example, take my story as, I would say, a reference, and do pursue your dreams. I am sure that I have seen in my life, I have seen that if you have dreams and if you pursue your dreams, you will always achieve, you will never go wrong. Sooner or later, your dreams will come true. And that's why on everyone's birthday we say that may all your dreams come true. Because certainly everyone has dreams, and the dreams are meant to come true. So I'm sure that you will all achieve whatever you have mentally decided to achieve. And how do I know? I'm sure that today I may not be seeing your faces, but I can tell you that tomorrow so many of you will be somewhere else in life, big CEOs of pharma companies and big CEO of some automobile company. And I mean, we have CEOs. I mean, someone is heading Google, someone is heading Pepsi, someone is heading so many big corporations in the world. They're all from India. Why? Because they have followed their dreams, they have had dedication, they have had perseverance, and they've had patience. So do follow this route, and I'm sure that you will succeed. Thank you.